testing. Testing. Test. All right, testing. We're going to get right into it tonight. That first time I did it, my audio was not the best, but nonetheless, I have something really quick and good prepared for you guys. Top 5 must-dos for the first week of PT school, okay? Top 5 must-dos. And I'm speaking from experience when I talk about this, being to 3 different PT schools, this being my third. So these are the top 5 things. If I had to do this again, I would have done the first week in PT school. All right, so we're going to start off with number 1. As you guys can see, I am in my department, and I'm on a plinth, or sometimes it's called a high-low table, and sometimes it's called a table. And that's why we went with the name Plinth Talk, okay? DPT Talk, Plinth Talk, a whole bunch of PT stuff. But without further ado, we're going to get into the first one, top 5 must-dos the first week of PT school, all right? So the first one is find a good workout facility. Why is this important, all right? And some people look at this like, if I work out and I'm doing, workouts, I'm taking away from time from my studies, whether that's having to go and drive to the gym, go change, even go to the gym in my apartment complex if you have one, or on campus, whatever. However, you guys got to think about it like this. Every time you take 30 minutes, an hour to go to the gym, you're investing in physical and mental health. And to be real, if you don't invest in those 2 things, none of this is going to matter anyway. So all that work you did in undergrad, all that work you did post-bac, maybe master's program, you get here, the stress is too much, you don't have ways to cope, you end up leaving. So guess what? None of that matters. So you have to find a good stress practice. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the gym. I'm using a generic term. It could be swimming, like something I am into. It could be jujitsu, something I'm also into. It could be whatever, but something to get your heart rate up, keep you physically active, keep your lungs going, and then just keep your stress down, okay? So find a good gym or some type of workout facility, all right? That is the first thing, all right? Second one we're going to go to. After the self-care part, this is the most important thing I believe that you need to do. One of the most important things you need to do, if not the most important thing. And here's why. I'll tell you why, okay? My mom used to tell me this, and this is true in PT school. No man is an island, all right? And what does that mean? No man just stands by himself. There are people who can go through PT school and get through it totally without needing anybody's help. I'm sure there's those people, all right? But those people are probably far and few, okay? More than likely, you're going to need somebody somewhere along the way, all right? So not everybody is the most social person, but what I realized is introducing yourself to 50% of the people. My first week, I got to introduce myself to about 70% of the people in my class. And you got to be strategic about this, because it's not necessarily just about, hey, hi, how you doing? And really just making hee hee ha ha with people and, just kind of being extra and excessive. It's just about, hey, how you doing? Hello, establishing a connection. And then that way you can build on it if you need something in the future. Okay, these are going to be your colleagues, people you're going to be working with, studying with, late nights, early mornings, maybe sharing stuff with, it's going to be a really up and down process, especially for those people in the PT cohort that are now going back into the classes, into the buildings, and not doing everything virtual. Okay. Another reason why this is very, very high yield advice, because you meet 50% of the people. I can tell you this. Me meeting 50% of the people this week alone has saved me hundreds of dollars, okay? And here's what you do. If you're not a person who really likes to maybe go up and socially talk to some people, I do believe that this is a skill you need to do regardless. But let's say you make initial connection. Hey, how you doing? You can then utilize technology, whether that's Instagram, GroupMe, Facebook, whatever. And what I personally did, I'll just tell you guys from my experience, after I made the initial connections with people in real life, I set up a GroupMe. And within that GroupMe, the whole class, I just told them, because we had a Facebook page, but it was really for the administration. They were sending us stuff before we came to school. I set up this Facebook page, and after they set up the Facebook page, I set up a GroupMe. And within that GroupMe link, I basically said, hey guys, can you add yourselves to the link? Within that link, this week alone, someone from their mentor, who was a second year, got access to all 5 books that we need for a class. It was like 5 books, right? That's a couple $100 saved right there. Another thing is, in my PT assessment lab, I try to push myself not to stay too comfortable with the same people, going and doing labs and stuff with the same people. So I sat beside someone else, hello, how you doing? Right? And this was one of my classmates, and I saw him pull up his book. And this was a newer edition from one of the books that was actually in that Google Drive. And that newer edition, I did have a physical copy of it. However, I didn't have the PDF, and I wasn't trying to spend another $100+ on it. So because I had made an interaction with him before, I was comfortable. Once he pulled up the book, I said, hey, man, you have an iPad, I have an iPad. Can you just airdrop that to me? Boom. Within less than a minute, I had that a couple 100-page book on my iPad now that I can use and do a whole bunch of stuff because it's a PDF, okay? So just me opening up my mouth and speaking, all right, that is a very, very high yield thing, because not only is it really just about school, but as humans, we need social interaction, some more than others, just to maintain a healthy sense of well-being, because the stress is very high, okay? So no man is an island. All right, so we're going to our third point. Our third point is take a few hours to outline every test and assignment from the syllabus. And guess what, guys? Because I utilized number 2, I totally was able to circumvent number 3, okay? And what I mean by that is there was a person, we went to a Sabbath dinner, and I had made an initial connection with that person. We were talking, and they brought up the syllabus and how they had gone through basically what I was going to do the following Sunday. This was a Saturday. And they had gone through and already pretty much outlined everything for the whole semester, every test and assignment. Guess what? They sent it to everybody at that Sabbath dinner, okay? And then that saved me right there. That in and of itself saved me probably about 3 to 4 hours. Okay. And when you get to PT school, you start realizing that your time, it's a very valuable asset that you have to make sure that you use wisely. Okay. Especially once it starts getting closer to finals. So me making that connection was able to save me hours of time. All right. So meeting at least 50% of people in your class, then going and outlining what you need to do in terms of your assignments and making sure you know when your tests are. All right. The fourth thing is put at least 20 hours of focused study for the first week using the Flora app. Okay. Now this one, I'm going to be honest, guys. This one can be, people might have different opinions on this, depending on if you're in an accelerated program or you're in a 3-year program. Regardless, this is extremely important, because putting in that time on the front end, okay, it's going to give you a little bit of confidence, or a lot of confidence, going into the semester, especially if you know how you study best, okay? Another thing is tracking, seeing how much stamina you're having at the beginning of the year. I believe if it can't be measured, it's hard to grow, okay? So when you're measuring your study time, and when you're measuring you'll feel how that 20-hour feels. And then from there, you'll realize, okay, hey, I need to really pick it up with the stamina, whether that's, eating better, exercising, and whether you're focused, you might need to, do whatever you need to do, meditation, and that's other stuff. That's not really related to this. However, you might need to do certain things in order to increase your stamina and your focus, okay, your mental focus. So getting that 20 hours in is going to give you kind of a good benchmark. And how do you do that throughout the day? Easy. You knock a good chunk out on Sunday. You knock about 4 to 5 hours on Sunday. And then what you can do is every morning, this is what I personally do. You wake up early, you hit 2.5 hours in the morning, you hit 30 minutes at lunch, and then you hit an hour and a half at dinner time. And then after that, guess what? You have your 20 hours by Friday if you do that through Sunday, if I'm doing my math correctly, okay? And even if you have to study a little bit Saturday night, it's not going to be any more than an hour, all right? So you want to start really getting that, start off strong, okay? If you're at an accelerated program, you might need to honestly do a little bit more. But starting hard and fast like that is going to give you that extra, that little head start, if you want to say, and it's going to give you that little boost. So instead of the trajectory starting from here slow and then having to gradually come up, you're going to start from here. 20 hours is the baseline, by the way. So you're starting from here and you're only going up from there, okay? You want to start off strong, all right? And the reason why the outline also is important is, with the famous saying, begin with the end in mind. It's very important to begin with the end in mind when you are doing PT school. And what the outline is going to do is it's going to give you a very good bird's eye view of the semester, how the semester is going to go, and anything that you might need to anticipate. So you can just be strategic and you can really plan mentally and then also plan, physically, whether it's weddings or whatever, family things. You can really plan your life to kind of around your studies, around PT school, all right? So there's no surprises over the 16 weeks that you're in the semester, all right? And now we have emailed all your professors to schedule a meeting with them within the first 2 weeks. Why is this important? All right, it's the first week. Why are you emailing professors? Office hours? You don't need office hours. You didn't learn anything yet, right? Well, wrong, okay? What I've learned as I've gotten a little older is you got to be strategic with stuff, all right? So a lot of students look at professors as a resource to just extract information from and then go, okay? And then some professors, to be honest, depending on their personality, that might be the best relationship for you guys to have. However, you got to look at it like this. These people are human as well, all right? Just like you, once you graduate this PT program and you go out and you start, helping patients, you want to have a level of satisfaction and recognition for the things that you do, the hard work that you put in. That's why people go to graduations. People want to feel appreciated for what they do, okay? So if you're a professor and any time a student talks to you is only because they need something from you, give me this and I'm going to go back to my dorm, I'm going to go back to whatever, and you're busting your tail preparing hours and hours for these, maybe preparing hours for these lectures, and then the people just come, extract, and then leave. Don't even say thank you. How would that make you feel? Okay? So now you have to look at it a little strategically in a sense of you have to really look at the professors as humans. So you're making an investment into a human, okay? Even if you might not need help from that professor, it's better to meet them, schedule them within that first 2 weeks on the front end, and then after that, if you need them, you're not coming to them the first time midterm. You're not coming to them the first time right before finals when you're struggling and you're trying to get out of hot water. You've already built a little bit of rapport, okay? And then also, they already know that you've made yourself familiar with them. So it's not just I need your help and this is the only time you're ever going to see me. Because that really transactional relationship between the student and the professors, for some professors that works, okay? But for others, and you have to have a little bit of social awareness, you can see based on their personality and just based on their level of interest in you. If they're having conversations, they're wanting to talk to you, listen, talk to them back. This is an integrated field. PTs work with OTs. They work with speech pathologists. They're going to be working with patients. Learning how to communicate with people, even if you're not comfortable with it, is a part of this profession, and it's a part of life, to be honest. I'm not going to say I'm the most social person. However, okay, I also understand that communication and people, it's a form of currency. I'm investing into people, okay? They invest into me, quid pro quo, everything works out, okay? It's a win-win situation. So make sure that you talk to your professors within those first 2 weeks, even if you don't necessarily go and schedule a sit down after class. Hi, my name is so-and-so. How are you doing? I'm looking forward to taking your class. What are some things that you would recommend me looking out for? I had my first meeting with my a professor today, and guess what? They pretty much told me how to study for the test, what was going to be on the test, the diagrams. I'm probably the first person that met with this professor. And because I took my time out, it was supposed to be a 15-minute conversation, ended up being an hour conversation. And we had some camaraderie, right? We had some interests. We had some things that we were kind of interested in, and some things that she did, some things that I did, right? So because there was that little camaraderie, right, she ended up just, hey, I said, listen, this is the strategy I'm using to study for your test. Tell me what you think. Okay, this is good, this is good, this is good, but boom. Look at the charts, hint, hint. Look at the charts in the book, hint, hint. Sometimes the professors will just straight up let you know what they're going to test on. You'd be surprised if you open your mouth and just ask a professor, hey, what should I be looking out for? Sometimes they'll just tell you straight up, especially if you take that time out to talk to them. And some people you just have a natural connection with, okay? So let's go back to the top 5 things you need to do in PT school. We're not going to keep this too long, and then we're going to wrap this up. Find a good workout facility, okay? If the mental health, physical health is not there, none of this matters. Introduce yourself to at least 50% of the class. Invest in people. No man is an island. This is a form of currency. Interaction with people is healthy. That's why solitary confinement is a punishment, okay? So look at it like that. And also, you never know who you're going to talk to and who might be able to give you something and save you hundreds of dollars off books, off whatever, even time, okay? And then you also have to think about it like these are people that you're going to be working with for 3 years. So, it's better to get comfortable with them on the front end and not the back end. Take a few hours to outline every test and assignment from the syllabus. You might not need to do this if you take number 2 seriously. This might not even be necessary. Put in at least 20 hours of focused studying for the first week using Flora App. Start off strong. It'll help, I promise. And email all your professors to schedule a meeting with them. Invest in your professors, they'll invest in you, and that is pretty much it. I hope you guys have a good semester, good first week. I'm here with you, grinding. First week, 3rd time's the charm, okay? We're going to be re-upping on the interviews next week once I get internet in my apartment. However, I'm here, Plinth Talk. I'm at my department right now. It's open, so I'm going to get back to studying. I'm putting in my 20 hours a week this week. You guys, I hope you guys take this advice and you guys do well, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to get back to my studies, but we'll see you guys next week. We're going to also start the Study with Me's again in the morning. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to debate between the morning and the nighttime, but I'll let you guys know, okay? Without further ado, thank you for your time, and we will see you guys in the next one. You guys take care.